With all this talk of WWE 2K24, there's one match that needed to be done, and one match that needed to be done was Lawler versus Andy Kaufman. If March is Memphis month on the channel, there needed to be one match done on the channel in the month of March, and that match needed to be Lawler versus Kaufman. Hollywood versus Memphis, Tennessee. As Lawler sends Kaufman falling to the outside. Andy Kaufman is a star from Hollywood, a comedian, an intergender superstar, the original advent of advocate of intergender wrestling is Andy Kaufman, and his biggest fame is from Taxi. I don't want to try and butcher my, ruin anything, but I know he was on Taxi, I just can't remember his name. Because reality is, I know Andy Kaufman for his time in Memphis. I didn't know Andy Kaufman as an actor until later on. I didn't know he was a comedian and an actor until later on. The reality is, I don't know people in pop culture because of who they are in the popular culture. Like, I didn't know well, that's not true. I knew who Logan Paul was, but I didn't really know of Logan Paul until he made it to WWE. But I didn't know Bad Bunny until WWE. For the most part with people in pop culture, I don't know them until unless they're a part of WWE. And that's how I learned people in pop culture. But either way, Kaufman is doing more in a WWE video game than he would ever do in real life, as he just took Jerry Lawler down with a hip toss. Kaufman is going for the ladder of press, shoots the half. The month of March has been rough for the King, losing to Dutch Mantel twice, losing to Joe LeDuc. And if he loses to Andy Kaufman, I don't know what could be said for the King if he falls to Hollywood, and if he falls to Andy Kaufman. I don't know that he would be able to ever show his face in Memphis, Tennessee again if he falls to Mr. Hollywood in this one. Lawler takes down Kaufman. Lawler's going after the knee of Andy Kaufman now. Andy was one of the people in the Celebrity Battle Royal last month and has been floating around because we also did a celebrity tournament on Twitch because I figured that was the easiest way. That is the mandible claw. Okay. Lawler kicks out. Lawler gets out of the mandible claw. That's a variation of the mandible claw, I would say. Because in the past, it was never counted as a pin, I don't think. So they added a new variation of the mandible claw. But the only interesting thing is, they added a new variation of the mandible claw, but Mankind hasn't been in a game in a long time. Or I feel like Mick Foley hasn't been in a game in a while. Well, Cactus Jack is here, but Mankind isn't. I don't actually, to be fair, with how little I've paid attention to the legends in this game, I don't know that Mick Foley is not in this game. To be honest with you, I don't know that Mick Foley isn't in this game because I haven't paid much attention to the legends. Because the reality is, it was very early on in WWE 22 that I unlocked everything, and I didn't leave anything to be unlocked later on. So that's one thing I did in this game. I unlocked as I needed it, or as I wanted it, as opposed to unlocking for the sake of unlocking. Like, I unlocked every woman in the game to make sure we had coverage for the women's Royal Rumble. But as far as legends are concerned, there are legends that are in this game that have not been unlocked yet. Because I don't see the point. There's championships that have not been unlocked yet either. Because I don't see the point. As Lawler has taken it to Kaufman, these two guys are credited with giving David Letterman one of his most successful television shows and made his show a talked about spectacle because they did what they did and went against what they were told, because it was Lawler and Kaufman that decided to go the route of Lawler hitting Kaufman instead of apologizing and getting rid of the money. They wanted to keep making money down in Memphis and not ruin the good business they were doing in Memphis. So what they did on the David Letterman show when Lawler struck Kaufman on live television, David Letterman didn't even know that was going to happen. And believe what you might, but David Letterman didn't know that was going to happen. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, Lawler and Kaufman were guests. That's how much mainstream attention Lawler was getting for his small little territory down in Memphis, Tennessee, because of the business he was doing with Andy Kaufman back in the 1980s. And they say the business wasn't as big then, or it wasn't as good then. It was as good then. It was better then. But that's just me. Hence why I have more shit from back then than I do from modern times. Kaufman has doubts, though, as Andy Kaufman goes to the outside to try and get a weapon, but Lawler catches him coming in with a kendo stick. Kaufman had the kendo stick, Lawler didn't. Kaufman had the kendo stick, Lawler didn't. But these two keep bouncing back between each other. Lawler keeps doing something, Andy keeps doing something, Lawler keeps doing something, Andy keeps doing something, Lawler takes him down with a crossbody. Lawler's now measuring Kaufman. Lawler's got the kendo stick. Lawler's measuring Kaufman, he's got the kendo stick. He swings for the fences on the ribcage of Andy Kaufman. And now he's taking out some frustration. He's taking it to Andy Kaufman with the kendo stick. Andy's got the mandible claw locked in again. Andy caught him with the mandible claw, but Lawler got the ropes. Lawler with an inside cradle. Andy kicked out. Lawler's back with the kendo stick. The people. Lawler's doing this for the people. Lawler was trying to do that for the people. As Andy's got the, I think he was going for the mandible claw again. But now Andy's got the kendo stick. Lawler moved out of the way. Lawler with a big right hand rocks Andy Kaufman. And now he's going. He was blocked the second time. But now third time's the charm as Andy gets dropped with a pile driver. And Lawler is about to put him out of his misery as Jerry the King Lawler gets his first win in Memphis month and sends Kaufman back to Hollywood. With that being said, we got one more match set to take place in the month of March to commemorate Memphis month. And it doesn't just involve Jerry Lawler. It involves everyone that has spent time in the Memphis territory, or anyone that has spent time in the Memphis territory, which is going to classify a shit ton of people, as we're going to have a Memphis Battle Royal. With that being said, that is it from me, and I will see you in the next one.